This Nashville Trucks and Xfinity Series Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus.
Start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and today we talk some people's favorite series of the entire. I know Jessica. If Jessica's out there right now, she is loving this because it is trucks and it is Xfinity and it is Nashville, Tennessee. What is not to love, Cody? The winner of this race goes home with a custom guitar that I wonder how many of them actually play the guitar and can play what their prize is.
I will probably take the under on how many will. Most of them go home with it, unless I believe Kyle Busch a few years back smashed his guitar in Victory Lane, Rod, which is interesting choice. Like I get it from the, like cool aspect of things, but then you got to be like, fuck, like I just smashed that guitar. Like there's another one, right, guys? And
but did they replace it?
Yeah. Can we get a prop guitar to smash and then actually take the real one home? Because I'd like to have the real one.
Yeah, I feel bad for that. It's like the hard work that they put into actually making the guitar. All of a sudden, you're gonna rock and roll it and go ka-cha, and there it's all over, and then you have nothing to show for your win at Nashville. But yeah, I mean, look at I love it. I'm excited about it. I love the Nashville area. Had fun being stationed there. Jess, there it is. Trucks.
Speak her name. She shows up. She's a big Trucks fan. We are early enough this evening, Rod, for Ash checking in. Says, hey, evening, lads. Cousin Danny's in the chat as well. Says he wonders how Jake Garcia is going to do this weekend. We'll be talking about him today, Rod. Ash appreciates the start time as well. So shout out to us for that. We even rolled off a little earlier than we had planned today. Things worked out, but our schedules, now that we've got into summertime, our schedules are much crazier than they are during the non-summertime school year and all that. So Xfinity, Almirola to win, Austin Hill top 5, Jake Garcia Group B. Okay, Ash, let's not give all my picks before the show starts.
I was about to say, we might as well just go ahead and close up the show now.
That's the end of Daniel checking in says, love the pod. Race week wouldn't be complete without the pod. Let's fucking go. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Daniel. Absolutely. You know, it's funny, and I've learned this as a podcaster throughout the years, right? And that there's the one that says it, but there's the hundreds that actually think it but don't say it. So thank you, Daniel, for being the representative of the ones that don't say it out loud and just listen in their car nicely and go, you know what? I like this show.
Yeah, we noticed it, right? It shows up in the downloads and all that stuff, so we appreciate it. And yeah, shout out to each and every one of our wonderful listeners, Rob.
I love it. I love that I get to stand here every day or sit here every day and talk to a wonderful group of folks, just like the guys at the main show get to do every single day. And these guys, they're going to be ripping packs live on air. If you want some fun, my friends, they're going to be ripping packs live on air next Monday night. They'll be breaking down a case of Panini Prisms with DAPZ. That's DAPPZ. And you can get 10% off of your favorite team with promo code SGPN. If you want all of the fun, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/break to get in on the action. I need to either, okay, so the cards that I just bought a while back were like the XFL, the USFL, and the Alliance of American Football cards. I haven't bought baseball cards in a very long time, or heaven forbid Pokemon cards, because first and foremost, I don't want to wait at the Target guest counter for 10 minutes or 10 hours for Pokemon cards as these guys are doing. But I guess there is some thrill. Remember the thrill of opening a pack of cards to see which ones you got?
Yes, I have got like 3 like big Tupperware like tote boxes over here in my office, Rod, of just like I had so many cards when I was a kid, racing cards, football cards. That you got to think there's probably some money in there. I should probably go through them at some point in time. There's a lot of unopened packs too, so maybe I need to start doing our own pack openings in here. Who knows? But I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet. But yeah, I was a big sports card collector when I was a kid, obviously, and then I just wish I had more time for it now. But I still love a good card when you get your hands on it.
Me too. Maybe that is an off-season show for us, as ripping packs of NASCAR cards. Ooh. We can partner with somebody to rip some packs of NASCAR cards, because my comic book collection's growing. I guess my card collection needs to grow as well. All right. It is trucks. It is Xfinity. We are again at the Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee. 200 laps into this, actually, that's not 200 laps. Rod gets the right one. Rackley Roofing 200. There's 150 laps around this 1.333 mile paved track for 199.950 miles. Cody, there are a few names that we recognize from Sundays and Saturdays in this mix that we're going to be witnessing on the truck race on Friday night.
Yes, Rod. William Sawalich is going to bless us with his presence in the number 1 truck. I am personally a big fan of this for many reasons, mostly because he sucks and he's fun to fade. Sorry, Rod, right in the middle of your drink, I know. They gave the shitty truck to Kyle Busch, the 07 Rod. Kyle Busch, I used to bet on Kyle Busch. This was probably about 5 years ago or so, pre-podcast era of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. I used to bet Kyle Busch. He would come down to Trucks and Xfinity 5 times a year for each. He'd be minus 150, minus 200 to win the race. I would max bet him every single time. He would win 9 or 10 of the races every single time. Now you can get him in a matchup at plus 160, Rod. My, how the mighty have fallen. Corey Day. The books are scared, Rod. They won't give us any matchups against Corey Day, who also sucks. He's going to be in the 7 truck this week for Spire. And Luke Fenhouse returning in the number 66 for Thor Sport.
Yeah, and again, so these guys, when you have guys like Kyle Busch, it used to push some of these other guys down. You're not seeing that anymore, Cody. They don't respect the Kyle Busch presence anymore like they used to.
I mean, we dropped the F for a reason, Rod. That's all I got to say about that.
No, we didn't drop
just KB. No, I dropped it. Some people put it in front. I don't think it deserves an F at all.
Well, I don't know. He would probably beg to differ with you at that. I feel like Kyle Busch, if you really cornered him, he would probably tell you that he deserves every bit of it that he's getting right now, because he's probably given it to himself like 15 times.
The F is sitting right over here. It's handy, Rod, and I'm ready to slide it right back into the name when he comes out and does what he should do. But it's rough for Kyle right now.
It is 1,000% tough for him right now. But so again, this is one of those races where it's not quite a mile and a half. It's not quite a short track. We're going to see some pretty hard racing, and we're going to see a lot of folks doing what they do best. So I don't know, Cody. I feel like there's really nothing new to report in this
one thing to touch on just real quick. Chris Buescher had gotten penalized after Kansas, docked 60 points. And a few other things that was heard today by the appeals panel, and they cut it in half, which I didn't think they could adjust the penalties anymore. I cannot keep up with what we can appeal, who we can appeal it to. I don't know. I'm just done trying, but they cut it from 60 points to 30 points. that pushes him back up to not very far outside of the playoffs now. So definitely a big story there, especially if he ends up points racing near the end of the season. But so yeah, he still lost the crew chief had to be suspended, but he's already served his suspension anyways, and the fine to the team remained. But yeah, other than that, not really any other news, but I just wanted to touch on that because it will make a difference potentially if he's not able to win a race, and it does come down to points racing later on. The fact that he lost 60 points or now 30 points, and also the fact that he got 30 points back to, maybe save his season.
It's like that Beautiful Mind meme where it's just so many numbers and so many different scenarios. And it won't, listen, it probably won't even play out until we get all very, very close to the playoffs and which way this is going to lean. So
it certainly might. We are halfway there, Rod, halfway through the regular season in the Cup Series side of things. So, all right, let's head to the Truck Series bets, Rod. Dos Flacos, where you at, buddy? It's been a little while. Haven't seen you. I know you're hanging out there, but this episode I'm going to dedicate to you. Rod put him on the cover. I appreciated that. The Ty Majeski hate, Rod, I'm full of it, and I have been full of it, I should say. It's gone too far. We've swung the bar a little bit too far. He's at numbers that he shouldn't be at this week, and it's been Kyle Busch level or rough for Ty Majeski here lately, the reigning champion, but you've got to think he snaps out of something here soon, and I'm going to jump on him this week. So you can get his top 5 at plus 275. That's the first place that I'm going to jump in there. Top 5 numbers are pretty tough this week. You've got Heim as minus 8 billion. Busch is minus a lot, and Riggs, they've priced out of the top 5 market. Other guys are really short. So kind of searching around for some stuff here. Found Ty Majeski. 4 truck races to look at here in the Truck Series since they've come back, right? They were here at one point, went away. But they've been back since 2021. Not a next-gen truck, obviously, so we can look at all of them. 8th place here in 21, a 4th place here in 22, 31st in 23, so piano fell out of the sky that day. But 9th place last year. So 3 of the 4 have been pretty good runs in the top 5 once, in the top 10 3 out of the 4 times. Last year, he also ran in the top 10 both stages, so he's kind of hanging around all day. Finished 6th at North Wilkesboro a couple of weeks ago, so it's not been all bad. It's been a lot of bad. It's not been a lot of good finishes from Majeski. And just, every week they kind of talk about it like, oh my goodness, all the problems he's having, all the things that he struggled with. So just be aware, right? When you place this bet, a piano might fall out of the sky and hit Ty Majeski because we see that more often than we don't. But on the times we don't, he looks good and he's fast. He was fast at Las Vegas where he finished 4th. Of course, we remember last year at Las Vegas, Rod, looked like the greatest race car driver in the world. I forgot about that at one point. I will never forget about that again. But he's shown the speed. He is a good driver, right? He's a reigning champion. He's been around. And as much as we make fun of him and poke fun at him, it's gone too far. The number's gotten too big. So I'm in on Ty Majeski, top 5 at plus 275. And then Ash, you brought it up a little bit ago. Jake Garcia, Group B over on Bet365. This is just like, if I could craft my own group, this is exactly what I would do with it. You got Jake Garcia, who we've loved recently and has looked really good. You put him in there with Corey Day, Rod, who is a Hendrick signed driver and massive prospect, whatever, but he sucks. Like, honestly, he's not looked good, right? We've had a couple Xfinity starts. They haven't been good. Here is his truck starts this year. Las Vegas, 27th. Miami, 15th. Oh, that's a great day. Martinsville, 32nd. Bristol, 15th. Rockingham, 22nd. So far, through 5 starts, the ceiling is 15th for Corey Day. It's just not been good. Then you're going to toss in Mr. William Sawalich, who I personally fade every single time and for any of you out there, some people have the option of a local book and whatnot, and I have that option. Any matchup you get against him, I take it every single time, and it works out more than it doesn't. I got fucking burned last week when I got him, Harrison Burton against him, Rod. He was killing him. Harrison Burton was second. Sawalich was like 3 laps down, and then Burton wrecked late, unfortunately. But he did finish 15th and 13th the last 2 weeks, so I'll give him a little bit of props for that over in the Xfinity Series on the mile-and-a-half side of things. But, 9th at Daytona, Superspeedway, whatever, 30th at Atlanta, Superspeedway, but 22nd at Las Vegas in his one other start. But in Xfinity, in a JGR car that should be fast, that should be good, those 15th and 13th place finishes are the highlights of his season. 37th, 25th, 34th, 35th, 27th, 24th, 38th, 13th at Phoenix way back in the day, but it's not been good for William Sawalich in what is the best equipment out there. Not been good, so I love that. Ben Rhodes is the other guy in this group. That can go either way, right? He can have his good days, he can have his bad days. We tried last week. Every sign pointed to he's going to have a good day at Charlotte. He did not have a good day at Charlotte, Rod. So that's just kind of how that goes. And then Jake Garcia, who's the guy we're actually taking in this, he's looked great lately, right? He's too many tabs, Rod. They're all open at the same time. Here we go. But he's looked good lately. We've seen a lot of good stuff from him. 11th place at Charlotte, 12th at North Wilkesboro, 7th place at Kansas. Rougher day at Texas, but in those races, he started 10th at Charlotte, 5th at North Wilkesboro, on the pole at Kansas, 3rd at Texas, 1st at Rockingham, 5th at Bristol, where he finished 7th. You look through all these, and yeah, Texas was rough. Las Vegas ended up being rough, but he's recovered, especially in the mile and a halves we've had here lately. This group, I couldn't craft it much better. Two guys I want to fade every way possible. If you get matchups against Day, if you get matchups against Sawalich, take them. They're in good trucks, and they're young, very young guys, and high prospects. They've got Gibbs behind them. They've got Hendrick behind them. They're probably going to be fine in the long term, but so far they suck. So, yeah, give me Jake Garcia, Group B over on Bet365.
I like it. You know that I was on Jake Garcia last week. And then for Ty Majeski, yeah, I think it's time to stop rooting against him. I think it's the fun of it has started to wear out. It's not like Hocevar or Gibbs where I will continue to get joy out of all of that. But
and again, it was never about not liking him, like we talk about a lot, right? It was just about he gets weight. It's hard to bet on a guy, and you don't have Heim as your outright either. But spoiler alert, we don't, because look how many races he should have won this year, and he should win again this week. But how do you bet him at plus 125 when 3/4 of the time something goes wrong? I mean, he's sort of starting to get a little bit of Ty Majeski, where something that goes wrong, whether it's in his control or out of his control, it's hard to bet on those guys. But when it circles back around to, okay, now the odds and it's the same thing we're doing with Briscoe, right? It's when the odds circle back around and now you're getting them where you need them for what they can do, that's when you jump on them.
The pianos fall on Majeski, the anvils fall on Heim. So, all right, I will give you my first bet of the card, but first allow me to tell you about our friends over at Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. There's no usage fees, there's no minimums. You can earn cashback rewards, and you get 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit $25, and Edge Boost is going to match that deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Now it's time to tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. We give you all of our favorite Underdog Fantasy plays in one whole episode. When we come back tomorrow, we'll give you all of our favorite Underdog Fantasy plays for the Cup race. And Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. In the meantime, while you're waiting for our picks, sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. You can claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code RACESGPN. Well, for my first bet, I am going to take one that this could be a coin flip, but I think I like the Grant Enfinger side of this. He is paired up against Caden Honeycutt, minus 115 over on ESPN. This is a case in which you're taking a very flashy name as of late, right? Caden Honeycutt is getting all of the press because of how good he's running, and because it's sort of, I don't want to say unexpected, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, and look at Caden Honeycutt. And you don't really expect to see the 45 truck that's fighting in that area with the Grant Enfingers of the world, where you expect Grant Enfinger to do. This is, honestly, I'm kind of taking a page out of this discussion that we were having in another chat, where it's like, you expect a certain level of performance out of one player. Therefore, based on that, you don't praise that player because that's what you expect out of that player, versus somebody that's actually out there really outperforming what they're usually doing. However, for Grant Enfinger, his results this season are actually not really as bad as you would expect them to be. An average finish of 10.4 on an average start of 12.9. He's got 3 straight top 10 finishes, does Grant Enfinger. And in fact, 4 of his last 5 finishes have been top 10 finishes. Crashed out of Texas, unfortunate, right? But he did finish 5th. or he started 5th rather, and finished 23rd in that particular race. He's got a 2nd place at Las Vegas, which again, as we look at some of these tracks that are mile and a half, just short of mile and a half, he's been doing very well, right? 6th place at Charlotte last week after starting 18th, 5th place at North Wilkesboro, 9th place at Kansas, 5th at Rockingham, like I said, and 9th place at Miami. So good, solid finishes for Grant Enfinger. What makes it difficult is you can say the same thing about Caden Honeycutt. 3rd place at Charlotte last week, 8th place at North Wilkesboro, 8th place at Kansas. However, I will point out that in 2 of the last 3, it has been Grant Enfinger that's got the better of the head-to-head matchups. Also Las Vegas, right, where he scored a 2nd place finish, did Enfinger. Caden Honeycutt got you a 12th place finish in that one. His average finish this year, 14th. His average start, 11th. So he's actually losing a few spots. As good as he looks this season, he hasn't actually been holding on to his starting positions very, very often. How is he on this track? He's got 2 career starts, does Caden Honeycutt. 29th place start in 2022, 21st place finish. An 8th place start in 2024, a 33rd place finish in this 45 truck, by the way. So how's Grant Enfinger fared on this track? Well, he's raced here 4 times. He's got 2 top 10 finishes. His first was a 3rd place finish in 2021. The most recent was a 6th place finish in 2024. So he does have the head-to-head here on this track. Enfinger started on the outside pole on this one. So in what is really a true coin flip, because both sides of these are weighted at minus 115, I think I'm going to take the more experienced driver overall, and certainly most experienced driver on this track in Grant Enfinger, who is just quietly having himself a really solid season. So give me Grant Enfinger over Caden Honeycutt minus 115. That you can find that on ESPN.
Yeah, this one is definitely kind of a bit of a coin toss because Honeycutt's been running extremely well here lately too. But Grant Enfinger, man, I want to find more ways to bet on him. But he's kind of in that, I don't know, he's kind of in that zone where it's a little tough to find ways. But I think this is a good way to get in on him, Rod. I'm going to jump over to the top 5 market for a couple of longer shots. Gio Ruggiero, we're going back to the well, 7-1 on him. Look, we've seen the speed. It's been there. He starts on the pole last week at Charlotte. Has a rough day. Finishes in 21st, unfortunately, but we've seen what he's capable of. 7th at North Wilkesboro, 4th at Kansas. Again, similar track type there. 10th place run at Bristol. Again, if you listened yesterday to the Cup race picks, we talked about how this track is kind of its own hybrid, but you can compare the 1.5 miles to it, but you can also compare a Bristol, a Dover. Trucks don't go to Dover, but those types of tracks in with this. So the 10th place run at Bristol does stick out as well. Even 15th at Vegas early on in the season as he was getting his feet wet, but he's had some good runs. He's shown a lot of speed here lately. And just going back to the well on the Ruggiero top 5 at 7-1, and another going back to the well again. It's Tanner Gray, 10-1 for a top 5. Last week was rough. He actually starts 2nd place. Another guy who had the speed. We just didn't get to see the results. Boy, if we could have cashed those tickets after qualifying, Rod, those looked good. But 26th place finish at Charlotte, but he was 11th at North Wilkesboro. Struggled again at Kansas with a 27th place finish, but the 9th place start, the speed is there. But 1.5 miles, 5th place at Texas, 3rd place at Las Vegas. So he has been able to get it to the end at a couple of these tracks and races. And at 10-1 for the top 5 for a driver that's as good as Gray is and is capable of getting it done as we've seen him be. Give me Tanner Gray top 5. Ugh, I wish we had top 10s. Tanner Gray top 5. Oh my goodness, I still fucked it up. Top 5, 10-1.
Cody's just wishing at this point. He's trying to wish this into existence. Like,
I'm just it's a top 10. I'm handing the ticket in as I bet it. I'm like, this is for a top 10, right? What do you do, like the Jedi mind trick, right? It's like
this is not 10. The action that you're looking for. We are here for a top 10. No, look, if you can will it into existence, Cody, then I'm all for it. But no, I like both of these, obviously, because with Tanner Gray, you're just he's one of those guys where now that his brother's gone, you absolutely love it. And then for Gio, like that's just another guy that people are gushing all over, and for good reason too. So 2 hot names, 2 really big numbers for the potential of what they can do. Speaking of hot names, stop me if you've heard this one out of my mouth before. Do you guys like winning money? I know you do, and I pretty much enjoy winning money with you. So guess what? We're going to go back to Tyler Ankrum again. This time, the truck lift for me. I don't have the truck lift thing because I don't trust it on this, but I most certainly am riding the truck lift with Tyler Ankrum this week. I mean, look, you talked about Majeski earlier, but for Tyler Ankrum, he's in a matchup with Ty Majeski. I'm gonna say that maybe the Casio keyboard falls on him this time instead of the full grand piano, and maybe Majeski doesn't finish nearly as close to the front as Tyler Ankrum will. But I'm gonna take him in a matchup over Ty Majeski minus 115. I'm gonna take his top 5 at 3-1. At 3 to Okay, I'm going to take his top 5 at 3-1, or his top 5 at 3-1. I'm going to take his top 3 at plus 650, and then to win is 30-1. Now the win, that's always the weakest part of it, but I mean, I'm telling you, I'm getting there, right? So, but for Tyler Ankrum this season, it's just been he's got an average finish of 8.5, and Lee hates money, so he definitely is not riding the Tyler Ankrum truck lift with us this week. But for Tyler Ankrum, right? I mean, his average finish this season, 8.5. He did have a pretty disappointing 12th place finish at Charlotte last week, but there was so much going on around that race. He started 23rd, battled his way up, and was able to be a front runner for a little while, and then kind of fell back to third. He finished 12th rather. He finished third at North Wilkesboro, 16th at Kansas. That's tough, but he was 4th place at Fort Worth in Texas. He won at Rockingham, 4th at Bristol, 2nd at Martinsville, 4th at Miami, 10th at Las Vegas, and 3rd in Atlanta. How has he done on the Nashville Superspeedway? Pretty damn good, right? 7th, 8th, and 5th in his last 3 starts. 5th was in that 18 truck. 8th and 7th were in the 16 truck. Now, granted, I know they're not top 5 finishes, all of them, but the last of which he started 14th and ended up 5th on this particular track. There is so much, and he's not really even that heralded. Like, everybody will be talking about Corey Heim. Everybody will be talking about Kyle Busch. Everybody will be talking about, Gio Ruggiero, right? But they're not.
He's heralded on this show.
I am banging every drum I can find for Tyler Ankrum. And this truck lift, I swear to God, if this goes all the way to the top, I'm buying a Tyler Ankrum die cast, and I'm taking it to Sonoma and have him sign it, and we'll give it away. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, this is the fun truck lift to ride. So Tyler Ankrum, overtime at Jeski minus 115, top 5 at 3-1, top 3 at plus 650, and to win at 30-1 over on Hard Rock. So love me.
Yeah, I love this, and I love that you went all the way in on the truck lift. I like every single one of these bets. I was really close to snagging him before you and just putting a couple of bets on him, because you look at how he's been doing lately, which you keep pointing out every single week. So if you haven't figured it out, he's been doing good. But then you look at how good he's been on this track. You go over to driver's averages, and it shows it like groups everybody in, since 2022. So basically the last 3 races there in average finish and everything, the top guy on that list is almost always Corey Heim. But no, it was actually, for active drivers at least, the top guy on the list was Tyler Ankrum. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, as good as he's been running lately, as much as you've been banging the drum for him, and then how good he's been on this track in particular. Oh, by the way, he's in a McAnally Hilgeman truck, which, as it was pointed out earlier in the chat, I believe that was Ash, yes. A McAnally Hilgeman truck dominated this race, led every single lap of the race last year. So we know it's a fast truck. We know it's a good truck. And for the Majeski part, yes, I made the case for Majeski because the price is right. Honestly, bet both of them, because if he finishes in the top 5 and beats Majeski or beats Ankrum, fine, you cash plus 275. And if he doesn't, because the piano fell on him, well, then you're kind of covering the back end of why the number is where it's at. So I think you can bet both sides of those, and I do like taking the head-to-head against him while also having the bigger numbers other places, and maybe you get lucky.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, this could be an instance where Ankrum wins the race and Majeski comes in second, and you are just clear all the way around. Cousin Danny saying, okay, I'll bite on Ankrum. You convinced me, Rod. Dan, I didn't convince you. The numbers convinced you, my friend. I just read them off to you. So that is all my job is to read these numbers in a way that makes you feel good about yourself.
That's right. Lee says only one outright worth betting on, and I have a feeling I know who you're talking about. So let us know in the chat, because I've got a rebuttal if it is the person I think that it is. Speaking of outrights, Rod, I'm going to go to the outright market. Lane Riggs plus 650. We're fucking riding this train as long as we possibly can. 25th place last year, not a great finish. Don't care. It was before he was good, actually. Second in stage 1 last year, so had a good run going early. 27th in the other start he had here. That was in a Young's truck, 23, part-time, whatever. Throw it out. 4th at Charlotte last week. 2nd at North Wilkesboro. 2nd at Kansas before the DQ. 2nd at Miami. 5th at Las Vegas. 6th at Bristol. I rest my case. And just most aggressive guy in the truck series right now. Lane Riggs, plus 650. I love it. Majeski, just talked about him a little bit ago. 25-1. He should not be 25-1. I kind of made the point earlier. He can come out and hit at 25-1, getting the reigning champion who's in a solid truck that can show up and have good days just any given time. I'll take it at 25-1. And then Daniel Hemrick, Rod, we haven't had a chance to talk about him. 28-1. Let me scroll back up here and remind you that this 19 truck dominated here last year, led every single lap in this race. Hemrick's not been Eckes so far this year, but he does have a win. He's had some good runs. 5 top 10 finishes in a row. 7 of the last 8 he's been in the top 10. 2nd at Texas, mile and a half where he did good. 9th here in the Cup Series last year. Asterisk 5 overtimes, but still, hey, got it there. And then he was also 9th place at Dover last year in the Cup Series. Remember, he was in the 31 at Colleague last year. Not a good car. Like, they got rid of the number. That car was so bad. But it just, I think that this number is too big on a couple of these guys. So, yeah. And then Lee says, you know what time it is, Heim time. So you say that, right? And he's plus 125 to win this. Now, should Corey Heim come out and lead every single lap of this race and win? Yes, he should. And we said that last week when we didn't bet on him, and he did. He comes out and dominates the race and wins. But he did win last week, right? I think he did. I can't even remember now. Who won the truck?
Everybody doesn't know who won.
We're on to Cincinnati, right? It doesn't matter who
won.
It
was a struggle.
Yes, I thought so. But it wasn't, it wasn't just a complete runaway as far as I for I was gonna say
98 laps was what he led, but even still, like,
okay, so yeah, but still, like, should have won North Wilkesboro, right? 17th. Should have won Kansas, right? 3rd. Should have won Texas, and he did. Should have won at Rockingham, 8th. Could have won at Bristol, 3rd. Like, Martinsville should have won, led 149 laps, 6th. Miami led 78 laps, should have won, 3rd. So the problem is, I know he wants to embarrass the field. I want to go out and embarrass the field in the Truck Series too. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it. But he should do it. But at only plus 125, oh yeah, and then let's look at what he's done at Nashville, Rod. How many times have we been here at Nashville in the Truck Series, and he hasn't won a race here yet? And again, I'm not just like beating the drum against he's not going to be good this week, because I would never say that about him ever. But you look at his average finish, he's 17th on the average finish since 22. It's 13.3. So it's not even a good average finish. And last year, 3rd place. Okay, but that's not winning. Two years ago, 4th place. Okay, that's not winning. And then 33rd in this first start here in 22. He just got in a wreck, but he didn't even lead any laps in that race in the Kyle Busch Motorsports truck. Again, he should come out and win. And if you want to bet on him, do it. But I'm just saying, at the number he's at, it's hard to justify why you would bet on him this week, even though he is the best driver in the best truck. But at the number it's at, and the combination of all the problems he's had this year when he should have won, and how he's not won here previously at this track, makes it tough to bet.
And again, that's the thing. Oh man, getting all verklempt, I guess. That's the thing about handicapping, right? Is that you have to weigh in a lot of different factors, because if you just want to go out and bet the favorites every week, you don't need us. Like, that we can sit here and tell you every single week to bet the favorites, and then what are we doing? What justice are we doing you deciding of what's going on? It's like, how our job is to give you what we think is going to happen, and really interpret the data and the stats for what they are. Because again, I could just come out and say Heim's going to win, and I'd be right.
Yeah, and we'll call our shots sometimes. And I was so convinced going into Kansas, like, he won both races last year, and he was super hot, and he was the fastest truck, and he should have won. But I lost a lot of money that week because he didn't win, right? And that's just how it goes. And just to clarify, Ash was wondering, is Hemrick or Ankrum driving the truck Eckes had last year? Hemrick is in the 19 truck that he had last year, but Ankrum is a teammate to that truck at McAnally Hilgeman over in the. Is he 81, I think is what he's 18. 18? He's in the 18 truck. Yeah. And Lawrence checking in says, great show, guys, from the Rubbin' and Grubbin' crew. Thank you. Shout out to you
Thank
guys.
you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
All right. Well, speaking of other folks in other trucks, I'm going to bring up Chandler Smith. Somebody brought him up earlier in the chat as well. Well, I agree. Chandler Smith, 8-1. If none of these guys that Cody has picked and Corey Heim does not cross the finish line first, I'm going to give Chandler Smith, the guy that is second in points, the nod for this one. A victory a couple of weeks ago at North Wilkesboro. He does have a victory at Bristol as well. Finished 8th in Las Vegas, finished 8th at Homestead. 13th at Rockingham was a bad day, but 4th at Martinsville. His average finish this season, 10.3. He's got 7 top 10 finishes, 4 top 5 finishes, and 2 wins in this series. He's the only other driver with multiple wins on the year is Chandler Smith. Look, we know that, and by all rights and accounts, I should hate Chandler Smith just because he is pretty much everything that some of these other drivers are that I don't care for. But I also recognize that his controlled aggression is enough to get him wins and to get him actually into competition status where it's not just bluster and you go out and you talk a big game and you finish in 26th position and, not even on the lead lap in some cases or whatever, right? So if you can back it up, you could talk all the talk you want. Chandler Smith's been able to back it up at least a couple of times this season. So I think at 8-1, it's a misprice for a guy that's going to be running around the front. So give me Chandler Smith at 8-1 on ESPN.
Yeah, no arguments here. Obviously, he's had a really good season, and
yep, me
like
too.
it.
So, all right, we'll go over the Truck Series bets. Actually, get out your pen and paper. We'll go over our Truck Series bets now. I've got no graphic. Sorry, definitely not prepared for this one. We had a late books giving us late odds, so had to scramble for this show. But get out your pen and paper. Going to go over our bets for this Rackley Roofing 200. Cody started you off with Ty Majeski as the top 5 truck at plus 275. Gave you Jake Garcia to win Group B over on Bet 365 at plus 225, consisting of Day, Sawalich, and Rhodes. I am riding that Tyler Ankrum, or I'm giving you Grant Enfinger rather over Caden Honeycutt at minus 115. Cody's giving you Tanner Gray rather to finish as the top 5. See, I'm tripping over the name. You were tripping over which position he's going to finish in. Tanner Gray to finish in the top 5 at 10-1, and Gio Ruggiero to finish in the top 5 at 7-1. I now am riding the Tyler Ankrum truck lift, taking him over Majeski at minus 115, top 5 at 3-1, top 3 at plus 650, and to win at 30-1 over on Hard Rock. Cody's taking Lane Riggs to win at plus 650, Majeski at 25-1, Hemrick at 28-1, and me, I'm taking Chandler Smith to win this race at 8-1. That'll do it for the truck race. Come back. Ash is saying, or Daniel Riggs 9-1 with Bovada. Woof.
Yeah, 9-1. There you go. I like that. And Charles checking in too and just saying, Mosak, sneaky top 5 for the same team. I don't know if it's sneaky. It is 14-1. If you're into pain, Connor Mosak is good at delivering that. And he says he's fast, just needs to put it together. We've seen some flashes of some speed. So, it's 14-1, he's in the same truck as the two guys we talked about in Hemrick and Ankrum. So it's I could see the case for it if you like.
I was gonna say I can see a case for it. I won't make the case for it, but all right, let's load up for some Xfinity Series bets in just a moment. But allow me to tell you about our friends over at Rhythm. CT Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, and just launched the WNBA. Rhythm knows you're going to love it. That's why they included a 7-day free trial. Love building my Caitlin Clark projections on a nightly basis to tell me how well she performed and which bets I can actually place on her and cash. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on now. 25% off a monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and a 50% off of annual subscription with SGPN50. That's the promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Get your 7-day free trial. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. Fantasy football season is well in swing. I know that I am so excited for another season of fantasy football, but what I'm more excited about is the draft, and you guys are too. So get your league a prize and a draft that they will never forget by entering the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. That's Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12 12-person league. You could draft in Vegas and be treated like a VIP for your entire stay. When you win, because you will, and you're going to invite me, you're going to get a 2-night stay at the Circa Resort and Casino for your entire 12-person league. That's 6 double king rooms. I don't even care. I will bunk with you. I'm in the Army. I'll sleep just about anywhere. You can hold the draft at the Cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit. You get a limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at the Legacy Club for the league, a reservation at the world's largest sportsbook with $500 beverage credit for the league. 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. That's a lot, and you're going to get it all if you enter. And you can enter now through June the 30th. You can go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the NBA playoffs, because who does not love themselves a little bit of NBA action? MyBookie is your place, and you can do that. For the true DGens, the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. You know me, the CFL is always on my mind, and the Ottawa Red Blacks are exactly the team that I love to root for. You can have them now as the outright winner to hoist the Grey Cup at plus 720. I'm 1,000% all over the Red Blacks, giving us another Grey Cup victory, thrilling Grey Cup victory, plus 720 over there on MyBookie. Go jump on that now. Head to mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. It's mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. I was the only Californian that I could think of and knew of at the time to be an Ottawa Red Black fan, and I am definitely proud of that for sure. So, Laura checking in. The birthday party is over. Oh, Laura, how are you doing?
Hey, Laura. Happy birthday to
happy birthday.
Party
Happy birthday from the NASCAR Gambling crew. All right. It is the Xfinity race, Cody, that we are now on to. I've already been told no for my karaoke. So I'm a little bit sad.
It's all right. I like it.
Hope so.
I'll allow it.
All right. We are set for, let's see. What is the name of this race again? I had it.
This is the Tennessee Lottery 250.
Tennessee Lottery 250. We're set for 200 laps around this 1.058 mile track for 211 miles in Lebanon, Tennessee. Now, what cracks me up is that this has 1.058, whereas the truck race is 1.333. So somebody is doing me dirty on this one. But
1.3.
that is the correct measurement. So I still think we're set for 200.
Yeah, sometimes you measure things, Rod, and it's just sometimes it doesn't always
There's
measure
lots
out
of commercials that will lead you to believe that that is absolutely true, and they show a lot of them during the NASCAR races. So get all that.
They do. There is a lot of those commercials. You're not alone, Rod.
All right. Well, then we are set for this race, and it's going to be exciting, and there's going to be a lot of fun to be had. Cody, what's the entry list looking like?
Yeah, 40 cars for 38 spots, Rod. We didn't talk about, but for Mexico, they are expanding the field to 40 cars, which means they are able to expand the field. We could have 43 cars of the Daytona 500. Oh, my God. Let's do that next year, please. Okay. I'll get off my soapbox for now. But 40 entries for 38 spots this week, so 2 drivers will go home. Ross Chastain is going to be in the number 9 for JRM, Rod. That's an interesting one there. Oh, we get double duty from Corey Day. 2 ways to fade him this week. He'll be in the 17 car for Hendrick. Don't let the Hendrick car fool you. Eric Almirola, we haven't seen him for a little while. He's returning in the number 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Jeffrey Earnhardt, he's going to be back in the 24 car. Had a top 10 here at Nashville a couple of years ago. Just tossing that out there. Didn't make the card, but I did notice that while I was digging through stats. And Myatt Snyder, a sneaky former Xfinity winner there. He'll be back in the 91 for DGM. So nice, solid entry.
Indeed. There's a nice, well-rounded mix of guys who are Sunday drivers and guys that are Saturday drivers. So absolutely love it. Well, Cody, let's start loading up our card for this race.
Yes, we're going to go back to Old Reliable. I know some of you never quit him. I see in the Discord, you bet it every single week, and I appreciate the diligence, but I'm going back to the Austin Hill top 5, plus 160. It's very simple, and Austin Hill's very simple. 7th at Charlotte, 4th at Texas, 1 Talladega, 6th at Rockingham. A rough day at Bristol, right? 24th. Rough day at Darlington, 16th, but 1 Martinsville, 3rd at Miami, 4th at Las Vegas, 4th at Coda, 1 Atlanta. He's got a lot of top 5s this season, and he's always in the mix. You always find him not usually going to be the fastest car, though occasionally he can jump up and lead 57 laps like he did at Texas just a couple of weeks ago, intermediate track. You like that. But he's just a solid guy, and he gets it done time and time again. And really, there's not a whole lot more to it than he runs really well just on a week-to-week basis, and that's what you like to see. Oh, 4th place in this race last year, Rod. So last time I checked, that was inside of the top 5. So a nice run for him there. Where did he finish in 2023, though, Rod? Oh, 4th place. Look at that. That's also inside of the top 5. You love to see it. And did he not come here the year before? Why do I not see Nashville on the sheet? Oh, there it is. Oh, 8th place. So just outside the top 5 3 years ago. But top 5 the last 2 years. Been solid so far this year. Just Mr. Reliable. And then I told you, Rod, I bet against William Sawalich every single opportunity and chance I can. Head over to ESPN Bet. It's -140. Don't give a fuck. I have bet -190s against Sawalich, and they most of the time cash. Most of the time. Actually, I think all the ones that have been that big have cashed. But I got so burned last week on the Harrison Burton wrecking out deal, but it was still the right bet. Like, Sawalich finished 15th last week at Charlotte, but don't let that he was 2 laps down at the end of that race. He wasn't running good by any means. And he's in a JGR car. You know how much I love these JGR cars. You know how fast they are, but it's not been good. 15th at Charlotte, 13th at Texas. So you could say maybe we're starting to turn a corner, but I'm not sold yet because 37th, 25th, 34th, 35th, 27th, 24th, 38th, 13th. Those are his finishes, right? 9th at Coda and Atlanta, but Road Course Superspeedway, those don't count or matter at all for this anyways. And we haven't seen anything good out of him. Last year, Phoenix, 13th, okay, but 33rd, 24th in his 2 other starts. We talked about the Truck Series just a little bit ago and how bad he's been, this year. And you look back at last year, 11th place was his best finish, but outside of that, it just was all bad runs for William Sawalich. I haven't even told you yet who I'm going to bet on because it doesn't matter. You just bet against him. But it is Nick Sanchez that we're going to take. It's -140 again. I love this. 3rd place last week for Nick Sanchez. He's got the speed. He looked good. A rough day at Texas the 20th. You'd like to see better than that. But 16th at Bristol is good. 8th at Darlington. 8th at Miami. 20th at Vegas. A bit concerning, but he's been fast. He has the good runs. You hope he doesn't overstep a little bit because he can do that at points. He still makes those rookie mistakes, but William Sawalich and the equipment he's in gives him way more respect than he should get. So yeah, I'm all about fading William Sawalich. And I'm going to continue to do so in any facet I get. And he's been qualifying pretty well. I think he started 6th place last week. And so you might get opportunities. Like I ended up finding, it wasn't available on any of the major books, but I got Harrison Burton against William Sawalich last week. Just nowhere close to a matchup that should even happen. Now, luck was on Sawalich's side, and despite the fact that Harrison was running 2nd with 20 laps to go, and Sawalich was multiple laps down, he got caught up in a wreck, and shit happens, right? But for the most part, I'm all about fading Sawalich, and Day as well. If you get opportunities to fade Day, I couldn't find any head-to-heads right now, but these are young guys. They're highly touted. Sawalich is a big Toyota development driver. Same thing with Day, big Hendrick guy. Larson's all about him, loves him, right? But they just have not been getting the results, and I think you got to take advantage.
Full disclosure, I did have this in the doc. I took it out because I didn't like the 140, but I'm glad you have it in there because I really do like this bet, and I get it, and I understand. So
yeah, 140 doesn't scare me when there's nothing scary about some of these guys. Like, the results haven't been there, but they've looked good. I can't think of a moment outside of an ARCA race where it's literally like a NASCAR car racing against a couple Toyota Priuses that are just like from the street. I can't think of a time when he's ever even looked good during a race where I'm like, okay, like Taylor Gray, like results aren't always there, things, but he's looked fast. He's been good. Nothing. I've not seen a single good thing about William Sawalich. Sorry if he's listening, but you got to show up, buddy. Like, you fucking suck so far. And that's what we're here to do, is make money. And
yep,
that's
100% agree with you on that one. Like I said, you only pay the juice if you lose, and thank goodness you're probably not going to lose on this one. All right, I'm going to take a head-to-head as my first bet as well. You talk about Taylor Gray. Well, I'm going to take him, but I'm going to take the other side of his head-to-head matchup. He has put against Carson Kvapil, minus 115 over on ESPN. So I'm going to take Carson Kvapil over Taylor Gray. This is my JRM love showing in all of this. Taylor Gray, average finish this season, 17.5. That's all right in and of itself, right? You're like, okay, rookie driver. He did good in the Truck Series. Now he's coming over, trying to do well in the Xfinity Series. All right, he's struggling. Well, guess what? He's got speed in qualifying. His average start is 6.8, and his average finish, 17.5. That tells me that he is not completing races, obviously. I mean, it tells everybody that he's not completing races, and he's not doing it in a consistent basis. 5 top 10 finishes in 13 starts overall, 3 top 5s. I mean, those sound like they should be good rookie numbers. The second place in Texas a couple of weeks ago, started on the pole in Charlotte. Looked like it was going to be the Taylor Gray show, right? Nope. Ends up dropping to 30th. And he didn't even last that long, to be honest with you. He fell out of the top spots, even the top 5, rather quickly. He didn't hang on very well up at the top. 11th at Talladega, 5th at Rockingham. That's great. But 19th at Bristol, 33rd at Darlington, 29th at Martinsville, 23rd at Miami, 19th at Las Vegas. Like, these are not good finishes for a JGR car, as we're talking about JGR in this instance. Now, I'm going to tell you that Carson Kvapil's not been that great either. His average finish this season, 15.3, still better than Carson Kvapil, but at least he's been consistently he's been consistently average, has Carson Kvapil. That's the difference, right? His average starting position, 11.1. It's still a drop off, but it's not the massive drop off that it's been. It's not 11 spots. It's 4 spots that he's not really finishing in. He's got 4 top 10 finishes, 3 top 5 finishes in those 13 starts. 17th at Charlotte last week, 19th at Texas, 17th at Talladega, 16th at Rockingham, 2nd at Bristol, 5th at Darlington, 20th at Martinsville, 10th at Homestead, 17th at Vegas, 26th at Phoenix. So here's the thing, right? When I'm reading you the Carson Kvapil numbers, I'm saying teen. Right? I'm not saying 20. I'm not saying 21. I'm saying teens. Somewhere in the teens has Carson Kvapil been, which is still averagely better, right? If that's a word, averagely better than has been Taylor Gray. Well, unfortunately, Taylor Gray has never been on this track as an Xfinity Series driver. He has only been on this track. He's only been an Xfinity Series driver for, not very long at all. Whereas Carson Kvapil actually does have 1 start on this track last year. He started in the 88, ended up finishing in 12th place in that race altogether. And then Taylor Gray in the Truck Series he crashed out of the 2024 race after starting 18th, and finished 14th in the 2023 race in the 17. Did Taylor Gray. So his average finish here, 24th in the Truck Series, not getting around this track very well, no matter what he's driving. Whereas, like I said, Carson Kvapil started that race in 30th last year, ended up in 12th. I trust Kvapil. I trust JRM. And JGR, while they look good, they're not finishing the way they're supposed to. So give me Carson Kvapil over our guy Taylor Gray at minus 115 on ESPN.
I'd love to defend Taylor Gray here, Rod, but I don't think I can. So I love both of these young guys. These are guys who have shown a lot of speed, a lot of promise, but you made a pretty strong case. It's been Kvapil over Gray lately, so indeed. I think you just keep riding.
All right, a bevy of top 10s on your way.
Yes. A bunch of top 10s that I like, Rod. Harrison Burton, top 10 plus 275. We're just going to keep betting this until I just talked about it. He was 2nd place. Now, there was some strategy and stuff that came into that, but he was going to finish top 5 at the end of that race until he wasn't, right? And then he gets caught up in the wreck and ends up in 21st. Not a great day, but 6th place at Texas, cashes at an intermediate. 8th at Dega, 3rd at Rockingham, good day there. Bristol, he struggled a little bit, but 11th at Miami, 8th place at Las Vegas. He's been running good. And he doesn't have any other Xfinity starts here at Nashville, some Cup starts over the last few years, so plenty of experience there. Look, if you listen to the show more than 1 week, Harrison Burton top 10. It's going to put you in play every single week at almost 3-1. I think you have to play it again. Parker Retzlaff, Rod, I'm going to jump on his bandwagon, plus 425. We've definitely seen some speed there from him. They had a rough week last week. They got caught up in a wreck early, 37th place finish, but 14th at Texas, so just a couple of spots outside of there. At the 2nd place at Rockingham, 18th at Bristol was a decent run, 17th at Miami, It's not been all roses for Retzloff in this 4 team as they've kind of, been adjusting to some things, but we've seen enough from him. And again, I closed out the wrong tab once again, Rod. But here at Nashville, looking at his past results, 17th place last year, so not too far outside the top 10, right? 2 years ago, 10th place finish, and 3 years ago, a 12th place finish. So in his 3 starts, he's been within 7 spots each time, 1 top 10, and 1 time with a top 12 finish. So he's been in the mix, and I've seen, it's the teams had their ups and downs certainly this year. There's no qualms about that, but he's had the good runs, and if they have a good day, he can hit this at plus 425. And then Matt DiBenedetto, top 10 at 10-1. DiBenedetto is a guy that I just kind of love to come back to every once in a while. 15th place run at Texas 2 weeks ago. Let's not forget, DiBenedetto is a veteran NASCAR Cup Series driver. He was in the Cup Series for quite some time, ran with a bunch of teams. He was with the Wood Brothers. Do you remember, Rod, of like one of his final races at Bristol, a track that we said is very comparable to this? He almost won in the 95 car, which is not a good Levine family racing. What's that team doing these days, Rod? They don't even exist. But he almost, Denny Hamlin ran him down at the end and passed him, and he finished second. But he was that close to getting a Cup Series win in a shitty car at Bristol. This is the type of track that he likes. The 15th place at Texas, you love to see. And 16th place at Vegas. So this team has had some speed. They're still adjusting to that switch over to Chevrolet, but they've had some speed. They've shown some good stuff. You go back to last season here. It wasn't a good run. It was 29th, honestly. And then that's the only Xfinity Series start he has here other than that, because of course he was in the Cup Series before that. But at 10-1, you're getting a guy who's good on concrete in the Cup Series in a past life, I guess, and has shown flashes of speed, shown flashes of being able to get stuff done in this car. So I like DiBenedetto. Such a fun name to say at 10-1 for a top 10. See how easy they made that? Bunch of 10s, Rod. No, we're not throwing 5s in there and throwing off my whole vibe as I'm trying to read it. Just 10
I do like
for a
top
10.
10s because that is a much better market than is the top 5, because it's very difficult to crack the top 5. And if you're sitting there looking at the same top 5 names every single week, it gets a little frustrating. So the margin of error for a top 10 is a lot greater than is a top 5. Speaking of which, may I interest you in a Dean Thompson top 10 finish? Thank you very much. I'm so glad. This Dean Thompson top 10 is brought to you at 6-1, and you will find features such as an average finish of 17.1 this season. I get it. It's not a top 10, but he did just finish 5th last week at Charlotte after starting the race 23rd. He has an 11th place at Rockingham, just outside of the top 10 there, 10th place at Bristol. In fact, look, I got done reading you the Carson Quapple numbers and the JGR numbers and the JRM numbers, right, for Taylor and for Carson, talking about how we expect them to be better than they are. Well, Dean Thompson's living right in that same vicinity with that average finish of 17.1. He's got 4 top 10 finishes and 1 top 5 finish this season as well, which is that last finish that he had at Charlotte. He's living around that top 10, right? 15th at Vegas, 13th at Homestead. He did finish top 10. He finished 6th at Martinsville, 18th at Darlington. Like I said, the 10th at Bristol. He did finish 8th at Daytona. It's just one of those things where for Dean Thompson, you look at it and go, that 26 car has got a little bit of something in it that will make it a top 10 contender each and every week. Well, how did it do actually last year in this race? Well, Tyler Reddick actually took this to a 14th place finish at Nashville, this 26 car last year. Dean Thompson has not been on this track as an Xfinity Series driver, but he has, like I said, driven this 26 car to its capacity, I think a few times over. So we've seen some pretty good finishes out of that 26 car last year. It's not a slow car. Corey Heim jumped in it a few times and turned a couple of top 10 finishes in there. 4th place at Richmond, Corey Heim he had a 3rd place at Iowa, which, a mile track and not a mile and a half, not a short track. So this 26 car is fully capable of finishing inside of the top 10. I think Dean Thompson is a capable enough driver to do it in 6-1. Seems like a misprice given that he finished 5th. Not asking for a top 5. I'm just asking for him to back it down a little bit and give me a top 10 at 6-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like Dean Thompson, and he's been a guy we've kind of talked about over the years in multiple different spots. especially at these big 1.5-mile tracks. The smaller tracks, he gets into a lot of trouble. There's a lot more bad things that can happen in a condensed spot for him, and he's not quite learned how to navigate through that stuff. But on these bigger tracks where you just drive your ass off, I mean, and go fast, he's pretty good at that. So, yeah.
All right.
I
Well,
like this
then,
play.
Cody, who is going to win this Xfinity Series race?
Yes, Rod. Eric Almirola returns to us for the first time in a month, and I, of course, am going to be back on him. You look at the top of the board. Chastain, you can make a great case for in the 9 car, obviously. Allgaier, you can definitely make a great case for in the 7 car. But Almirola is sitting right there behind him at a bigger number, plus 450. Too good of a number to pass up on for as good of a driver as he is, as fast as this 19 car is. John Nemechek won. It was the 20 car last year, but same ride in this car last year at this track. So you love to see that. Las Vegas, when he was out, the only 1.5 miles he's run so far this year, leads 51 laps, second place to Allgaier. They battled it back and forth at the end there. Top 3 in 3 of his 5 starts rather. So it's been a pretty good start to the season for Eric Almirola in the races that he's run. And look, it's a fast car in a good driver, veteran guy. You know how much I love that. Plus 450, I think, is a great number. The Allgaier success of recent here, where he's been on such a good run, has allowed the Cup guys' numbers to not be so short in this series, which is pretty nice to see. I like it. So plus 450 for him. Brandon Jones, 16-1. Rod, I'm going to jump on him as well. Look, he's been really fast, and he's looked really good this season. 19th at Charlotte wasn't a great day, but he was fast before that. He got caught up in some stuff. He was involved he got a bunch of damage in one of those wrecks, but he was out front at one point. The way they were playing the strategy looked like maybe he was going to have a shot to win. 9th place at Texas was a decent run. 5th place at Bristol, good run there. Darlington, remember all the Cup drivers in that race. I believe Ross Chastain was in that race in the 9 car. Christopher Bell was in that race in a Joe Gibbs car, and Chase Elliott was in that race in the 17 car. Didn't matter. He led 24 laps, won that race at Darlington. The 7th at Miami, 6th place at Vegas. He's had the speed. He's looked good. He's comfortable back at home. 16-1, I think he's worth a shot. And then I'm calling my shot this week, Rod. We haven't talked about him in a while. Mr. Second Place himself. Sheldon Creed, 16-1. I don't really have any stats to back this up, if we're going to be honest. But I'm feeling Sheldon Creed. This is the week Sheldon Creed gets his first career Xfinity Series victory. 16-1.
So I think from now on, I think every single week now, we should just say Sheldon. And then that way when it does happen, we can clip it out and say, see, we told you.
Well,
I
tried that for a while, Rob.
I was here for that. I remember you saying, this is the week, and it just never happened. So sorry.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, but this for real, if it's not one of those other guys, it might be his week. I don't know. I just, and like looking like they haven't really been running that great. And Laura says, Cody, no, I know, Laura. I didn't want to do it. I put it in the doc and deleted it multiple times, but this is my gut bet of the week is Sheldon Creed. So we're going to roll with the gut. And Sheldon Creed.
Well, then let's cross our fingers and all of our toes and hope that it happens this week. So, all right. So you talked about Brandon Jones. Well, let's talk about the guy who's driving the car that he vacated this last year. Now it is Ross Chastain in this race, plus 325 over on ESPN Bet. I'm just going to go ahead and say Ross Chastain, Nashville Superspeedway, not been kind to him in the Xfinity Series. Last year, he drove the 92 car, ended up 27th. I click out of that tab because I really don't give a rat's ass because in the Cup Series, this guy has a win on this track. Won from the pole, led 99 laps in the 2023 race. Unfortunately, crashed out of the 2024 race, so we didn't get a chance to see it. But runner-up in 2021, 5th place in 2022. Ross Chastain, fast on this track. That 9 car is JRM equipment. You know how much we love Zilich. We know how much we love Quapple, Allgaier. Like that is, you're putting him in the elite equipment. He's an elite driver. He just won a couple of weeks ago. He's riding the high on that one. So there's no reason that he should be plus 325. I really, truly think that it's worth a stab at that one. And then I'm going to take his teammate, Connor Zilich, 12-1. Zilich is eternal. Zilich will not be denied. I think he will be fighting with Chastain for this win at the end of the day. Zilich finished second, started second in Charlotte last week. He won in Austin. He was a 9th place finisher in Vegas, 6th place at Darlington. He's got 4 top 10 finishes in his thing too. Now, here's the thing. Him and Quapple, you can almost make the same kind of case for, because average start for him is 6.3, average finish is 15.6. But the difference is this, is that when Sawalich, and obviously, or Zilich, and he missed a couple races this season, obviously, too, or at least one with that back problem. But he is fast. And something happens that takes him out of it, it's fine. It's not the talent that's holding him back. It's whatever the equipment or whatever's going on around him. He gets taken off in a bad crash. If second place is his ceiling, or at least second place was his best finish to date at Charlotte, then I'll definitely take a win for him, especially at this number. 12-1 for a guy that just finished second. No, thank you. I'm definitely on this one. So give me a Chastain at plus 325 and Zilich at 12-1 to win the race.
Who will win first, Rod? Zilich or Creed? Well, Zilich has already won, so I'll go with him. But I have a proposal for the NASCAR Gambling Podcast board of directors, Rod. I guess that's us, because here we are. So you like Ross Chastain to win this race. I like him to win on Sunday. You mentioned that you like him to win on Sunday as well. How about we parlay it 43-1? We almost saw it last week with William Byron. Won the Xfinity race and then obviously dominates the Cup race. Finishes second at the end of the day. But 43-1 for a Chastain parlay. I think we'll both endorse throwing a little bit on that as well. Laura wants to know, does he beat Allgaier? That's the question, right? And Allgaier is actually the favorite over these Cup guys this weekend, and much deservedly so, right? While we didn't pick him, I think he does deserve to be the favorite. It's another case of he should win this race. We still know things can go wrong, right? And they have, but he's been lights out on these 1.5-mile tracks lately. So it's his race to lose, I would say. But that being said, we went with the other guys. King checking in, Rod. Since he's a little late, any love for Love? Rod put away his love for Love this week, although I did see Love has been pretty decent at this track. So I'm sure you can find some. Everybody go find some love.
You will have to love yourself in this instance, because we just didn't have enough love for Love this weekend. And honestly,
there's not enough space
there's no
for Love
space
this
for
week.
Love. Everybody's going to go home unhappy this week because there's no love for Love. But all right, get out your pen and paper. We're going to go over the plays for this race and who we do actually love. Cody starts you off with Austin Hill as a top 5 car at plus 160. He's taking Sanchez over Sawalich at minus 140 over on ESPN. I'm taking Carson Quapple over Taylor Gray at minus 115, also on ESPN. Cody's top 10s include Harrison Burton, top 10 plus 275. Retzlaff, top 10 at plus 425. Matty D, top 10 at 10-1. Mine is the Dean Thompson top 10 special at 6-1. Cody said Eric Almirola plus 450. Brandon Jones at 16-1. Sheldon Creed at 16-1. We're tossing in the Chastain parlay, the watermelon lift, as it were, at 43-1. And then I'm taking Chastain to win outright, plus 325 on ESPN. And then Connor Zilich at 12-1 on Caesars to win the Tennessee Lottery 250 from the Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee. Cody, we have done it.
We have done it, Rod. Trucks, Xfinity, let's go. Good luck this weekend at Nashville. Hopefully we win some money. We'll be back tomorrow with the Cup Series DFS Xfinity show, or DFS and Underdog. That's what I meant to go with there, to talk about those. So,
beautiful stuff. All right, everybody. Well, then it's time to go fill out your card. We are going to go and relax for the rest of the summer day. Cody's going to go play some or watch some softball.
Yeah. Coach, I get out there and help coach a little bit. I mean, I stand at third base while they run past me.
Practice
really
this.
What happens, but
the waving of the arm. Go.
I'll take. That's pretty much what it is, right? Just keep going, girls. Keep going.
Stop. All right. Well, then go. Tell everybody where they can.
Okay. Yes, I'll get off to that. In the meantime, Rod, follow me over on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. There's just a little bit of everything you could possibly want over there. So check it out. And yeah,
Follow
see you
me
guys tomorrow.
on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on. If you haven't already, you know what's over there. And then, of course, make sure you check out the back road. Seth and Elliot holding it down for you tomorrow night. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We absolutely love you. You keep us humble and you keep us active. So continue to do so. Join us. We are so very close to reaching 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Want to do that by July the 4th. If you have not already, click the subscribe button.
We're trying to do that this weekend, Ron. We already gained 3 subscribers from yesterday. We're down to 27, I guess, needed. So if you're look, it's a minute 10 sec, or it's an hour and 10 minutes into this thing. Just click the subscribe button, people.
What are you doing? I'll click it for you.
If you made it this far, it's worth
indeed.
subscribing.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Like we said, we love you all. And we'll be back with the DFS episode. So until then, let's go racing and let it ride.